if you are coming as a single person, and you know that by the time you come, you have to start dating, you have to be meeting new people, new guys, new girls, go to a busy area, because this area you will just be reading book and going to school and going to church. Hey guys, welcome again to my channel. Today we're going to be having a fun video. I have a guest on the show today, and thank God for technology. Like, we don't always have to be in the same place to make this kind of videos. I'm going to be talking to Jenny Lee Micha. We're going to be having a chat, and we're going to be talking about expectations versus reality. Okay, like for those coming to the US, I know you have certain expectations. We all have expectations of places that we have not been to, and so we are just going to give you the gist. This is going to be a fun video, okay? And while you are laughing and enjoying the video, remember to click on that subscribe button, like and share.
Today is going to be like something different for what we usually do. You know, our normal introduction will come like this, but today is just going to be like a gist. We are supposed to do it like a live video, but we decided to record it first. So we'll be gisting, Esther. I think what we'll do, we'll talk about one aspect and then we'll move over to the other aspect so that we'll not just be going in circles. So let's get started. First of all, how long have you been in the US, Esther?
About 2 years and some months.
Okay. And then you came in from Nigeria, right?
Yeah, I came in from Nigeria. Yeah,
Okay.
that's now, because me, I came from Nigeria, you came in from UK.
UK. So guys, today's gist will be tough because it's going to be like two aspects. I'm going to talk from UK. I'll talk about from UK to the US, my expectations and reality, putting the UK as the major expectation or whatever. So then Esther is going to talking about from Nigeria
Yeah.
to the US. So if you're coming from the UK, I'll say my own. Esther will talk about from Nigeria. Okay, so now let's start with housing in the UK. I'm going to talk about my own housing in the UK. When I came to the US, or before I came into the US, I had this perception in my mind, in my heart, because I felt like housing in the US is a lot bigger than the UK, which I know is true. Because you watch movies and then you see their houses, you see the environment is big, like they have a lot of land. But in the UK, the houses there is very, very small. I don't understand. The houses is like when you're in two people in the same kitchen, you'll be jamming yourself like that. But some persons say they have bigger kitchen. Oh, I did not see. For my friends, people that I went to visit, the housing in the UK is small. So I've come to conclusion that housing in the UK is small. So now, Esther, what were your perceptions about the housing?
Yeah, houses in the US are actually quite big. Some houses are big, actually, to be honest. Some places they actually put in that effort to make it big. So, like the houses that I've stayed in, okay, I only stayed in. I've not really stayed in like a house since I came. Like the first house that I lived in, it was like a student's house. So there were other students there, although but the kitchens were really big. So if you wanted to call that, if it was like a family house, also that kitchen was very big. So very big. They had two big kitchens, big rooms, and everything. And then I also moved. Next up, I moved to the school housing. So and it's quite spacious as well. So I would say housing, yeah, it's actually quite there might be some areas. So places like New York, I heard that the houses New York is like Lagos. So if you've been to Lagos, I went to New York
Has
sometime.
populated.
Mm-hmm. I went to New York some time ago. Like that place, when I got there, I was like, "Hey, should I hold my bag? Will somebody come and take my phone?" I was just like, "Ah, it's like Lagos
But
again." Yeah, so I heard the houses there are really small and expensive, but that's the price you pay for wanting to stay in a big area. And since we're talking about housing, I thought that if you get to the US and you have money to pay your rent, you can get a house anytime.
oh,
That
okay.
first of all, you have to sign a lease. And most houses ask for 1 year lease. So if you sign a lease and you don't like the house, if you like, pack out, you continue paying the rent for that house that you've left. Because that 1 year lease is an agreement. And then if the house says, oh, they are not available at this time, there's nothing you can do. House hunting is something that you have to dedicate time to. Because if you find yourself in need of a house to stay, in need of a place to stay, and there are no options, it's going to be very, very hard. Because if a house tells you, it's not the one that you go and beg and say, please, you don't have anywhere to stay, you go and stay in hotel. Oh. If a house tells you that no, they won't be open till this day, that is it. You don't even need to pay extra or anything. That is it. You have to wait. So that was very surprising to me. It's not something that I expected at all.
Okay, but for my own, I'm coming from the UK. I think the lease agreement, the day the house will be ready, is still the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing. They'll tell you this house will be ready in June, in July, and yeah. So it has to be when when you're ready, not like when you're ready to stay the house. You have to wait for the house. I think because maybe they still have tenants there, so maybe the tenant is leaving in some days. So to my I think my own point is the UK. The issue I have with them is their houses are too small. In Nigeria, we are so used to big houses. You build the house to the extent that you build to the road. You occupy all the land, everything. But here in the US, I expected that houses will be a lot bigger because we watch movies. We watch like a lot of movies, and then we had this perception like, when I reach the US, I learned that the kitchen is like the whole of 2-bedroom apartment in the UK. That was what I thought. But when I came into the US, I got to realize that it differs from state to state. When you're living in Texas, for example, that house is there, mansion, like I give it up for Texas, but I don't know about other places. So when I came to the US, that was what I thought, like the house would, as in, would be big. But when I got here, I think it's like I said, differs from state to state. The state where I'm living is not like that, but you literally need to go to some residential area. I live in the city in the state, so the city is a lot populated, and everybody wants to live in the city because that's where things are happening. So you see houses on top of each other. You see first unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4 in the same city. I was like, no, this was not what I expected. No, don't do this to me. So later, when I was driving through now the town, different places, I saw like, okay, it's where I'm living. Oh, so those are I think to some extent my expectation tallies with the reality because it differs from state to state, and houses here are a lot bigger. Like my kitchen here in the US is bigger. It's like my UK city room, one room, and the kitchen in the UK, just the kitchen alone. So US housing is big.
Yeah.
US houses is big. Their houses are big. So
Yeah.
yeah. So another thing is housing here in the UK. Rent. I don't know about your own place, Esther. How about the rent? My rent here is a lot more expensive. In the UK, the rent in some aspects, like in London, is a lot more expensive. But if you're living in other parts of the UK, it's cheaper. You can get a 2-bedroom apartment for like 750, 700. Some people say when you live £700, so not dollars. Some people say when you live in some parts of the UK, you can get a 3-bedroom apartment for £400, as low as £400. But here in the US, that was what I expected. I was like, since these US houses, they are bigger, and that there is dollar, pounds is in, pounds. UK uses pounds, and then US here, they use dollar. So pounds is higher than dollar. So my expectation were like it will be a lot lesser. The rent will be cheaper. But when I
Mm-hmm.
got here, it still differs from state to state also.
Yeah.
State where I'm living is an effigy, in quotes, state. So they have a lot of beaches around. So it's a lot expensive. who sent me is the key. Over to you, Esther.
Hey, you ended it where? Who sent you? Because it depends on the area. So if you
Yeah.
go to like the Midwestern areas, for instance, now I'm in Missouri, houses are cheaper in Missouri. So
Oh,
in Missouri, you can get like, let's say, a 3 bedroom apartment for like, I'm trying to think of the cheapest one I've heard of. I don't know if it's an exaggeration, but maybe like 3 bedroom, like 900. Yeah. So yes, so you could get as low as that. So, and again, no, it still depends on the area inside Missouri. Now this area, because this place is not very, it's not too populated. It's like, a calm area, so it's not too populated like that. So houses are cheaper. Okay, like houses are cheaper. You see people that, let's say, they are sharing a house with other people. They are paying like 250, 300 per
wow.
month. Yeah, so houses are cheaper in this side. But then if you move to a more populated part of Missouri, because Missouri is really big. If you move to a more populated part like St. Louis, all those big Kansas City, houses are expensive.
Mm,
So yeah, it basically depends on the area that you are going to. See, now you said at your place you have beach. You cannot compare the cost of a house on the island to the cost of a house on the mainland. So it just depends on the area, sha.
mm. So guys, if you are moving to the US, put the area, the state into consideration, because if you want a spacious, a cheap apartment, go to, there's some places in the US that you can go to. But if you want the fizzy area, the fun filled area, you will get it expensive, and it will be expensive and to be smaller. But although where I'm living is still big, oh, it's still big to
Mm.
some extent. Yes. So that's it. So
Yeah,
that's it.
and area, the area itself, and there's so many things to consider. You can Google cost of living, no, like if you're coming to this area. And let me tell you that thing. If you are coming as a single person, and you know that by the time you come, you have to start dating, you have to be meeting new people, new guys, new girls. Go to a busy area, oh, because this area you will just be reading book and going to school and going to church. So just weigh it like this. What do you want? Is it like this or like this? Okay. These places, they are good for people that come with their family. Like, okay, just you, or if you're just coming to, you just want to study and get out of here and all that. What if they just be based there? Hmm.
It's
It
just,
is well.
it's a matter, you can't have it all. But what people do is they stay in a place that is central, so not too far from the city, and then not to, so that they can actually drive to the city when they want to mingle. Ehen.
Yes.
So if you know you have your reason, like what Esther said, you can stay in a place that is centrally located, and then so you can benefit from the vibe of the city and also the calm life. More like a suburb. Would you say it's a suburb or something?
Yeah, this is kind of a suburb. So if you want to meet new people, if you want to be partying, you want to like mix up and all that, you just have to go to the cities. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're suburbs, they are just calm,
Yeah.
just meet people, say hello, good morning, how are you?
And then they'll be walking their dogs. So
Exactly.
yeah. Mm-hmm.